we're just tenths of a second away from seeing this series' second straight overtime period. I'm pleased to bring in Bob Stauffer from the Oilers Radio Network. But it is the Edmonton Oilers who suffered defeat, just like that, with Riley Smith's game-winning marker in second of the night. And we got to hear from Darnell Nurse, Zach Hyman, and head coach Chris Knobloch about 13 hours removed from that difficult defeat. What's your pulse on the team right now, Bob?
Well, I think that this is an experienced team, and I think the reality is Edmonton's up 2-1 in the series, and I'm not necessarily sure that Edmonton's been the better team in 2 of the 3 games. I think that the Oilers clearly were the better team in Game 1, but Vegas swung back, punched back, and Calvin Pickard helped steal a game in Game number 2 for the Oilers that they ultimately won in overtime. Last night, I don't think there's any debate. Vegas had large stretches of that game under their control. Their transition game was very good. The Oilers' puck maintenance and management was an issue. Certainly through the first 2 periods, they had 15 giveaways. There was a giveaway in the first goal against. There was a bad change on the third goal against. And the fourth goal against, there's going to be a long-form documentaries made about that goal again. I mean, that was a rough goal. Yeah. Now, here's the beauty of the situation for the Oilers players. They got to forget about it, move on. They're experienced. They've had some tough moments over the last few years and been able to respond. And last night after the game, what did Corey Perry said? Everybody needs to be better, and everybody needs to be better. So some of Edmonton's better players had some tough moments in last night's game. And also look at the caliber of the opponent. These are the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup in 2023. They're a well-coached, well-managed team. They play with structure and process. And when they're on their game, they can get the puck up the ice in a hurry because they got 3 guys in the back end that can really make plays. And we're talking, obviously, about Shea Theodore and Alex Pietrangelo and, Noah Hannafin. So they are a tough out. Yeah. We know that. Yeah. It was never going to beat Tony. It was never going to be easy. And I think the Oilers players, they just have to park it and get refocused and know they have to be better tomorrow.
It's important to keep in mind that these Golden Knights, 4 years ago, Bob, they also faced a 2-0 deficit to the Colorado Avalanche, also in the second round. Well, they went on to storm back and win that in 6 as well.
They can do it. Vegas can do it. Vegas also had a 2-0 lead last year in their series against Dallas.
That's right.
Winning both games on the road. And Dallas stormed back to win that series. I think that, the Oilers, it's in their hands. They know they have to play better than they've played the last 2 games. They got to split out of those 2 games, and they were the second best team on the ice. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see if we know for sure no Calvin Pickard.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very intrigued to see whether or not Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl will play a lot together tomorrow, or if they split them up. And the other end of the equation is, what about Mark Stone? Like, I think you got to give Vegas some credit for the game that they brought last night, given that they didn't have Mark Stone for the final 40 minutes.
All right, as mentioned, Calvin Pickard not available in game number 4, so we can assume that it will be Stuart Skinner getting the start between the pipes with Olivier Rodrigue backing him up. You talked about Corey Perry. Let's shine some light on number 90. What a playoff he's had. He's like Benjamin Button. He's aging backwards. He seemingly gets better and better when the game needs his best. 2 goals last night, 5 goals already in the postseason. What do you make of Corey Perry?
Well, I'm going to steal the Greg Giraldo line that one of my friends used on me. There's some people that age like Benjamin Button, and Bob, you've aged like Benjamin Fatman. So there you go. But with all seriousness, the reality of the situation is, it says to me a little bit last night that he was one of the Oilers' 2 or 3 best players, and he's 39. And he's not the same player in terms of the pace and tempo that he was, but he's so smart. And he's on the right, he hash marks in. He's still an elite NHL player, right? It's
Which
great.
Which is why he works with McDavid and Draisaitl.
He had a chance last night. The oldest player in NHL history to have a hat trick in the playoffs is Johnny Busick, okay?
Okay.
And Johnny Busick benefited a bit. I don't want to, Johnny Busick, there's a connection to Edmonton with Johnny Busick, but I don't want to look down upon it. But, that was when expansion came in, and he had a 50-goal season late in his career. Corey Perry, the guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. We know that. He's had an incredible NHL career. He is a Hall of Fame player. He's won a Hart Trophy. They're on the Hart line when the 3 of them are together. They've combined for the game-winning goal in game number 2 and then the first goal last night for the Edmonton Oilers. So There's no question that it's been a wonderful story. And, you know, hockey in theory, Tony, is a meritocracy, okay? And based on merit, the Edmonton Oilers need to look at re-signing Corey Perry. Guy scored, what do you have, 19 goals in the regular season and 5 fights. Like, based on the price point, he did his, like, he's been and 5 goals already in the playoffs. Like,
unbelievable. 7 points, 9 games.
It's crazy. So they need contributions throughout the lineup. And in the regular season, in a year in which the Oilers had some guys that did not reach what many people thought they could, Corey Perry was one of those guys that did that, and he's clearly already done that again in the playoffs as well.
Well, Bob, yesterday marked game number 224 in Corey Perry's postseason career. That currently sits 9th all-time. Monday's game 4 will be game number 225, tying, do you know?
Would it be Mark?
Glenn Anderson.
Glenn, I knew
Glenn Anderson with 225.
Well, Glenn Anderson, you know, leads the Oilers all time in regular season game-winning goals. At one time, Glenn Anderson was the only player in NHL history to be top 10 in goals, assists, points, game-winning goals, and penalty minutes in the playoffs.
Wow.
He was the only guy in NHL history to be in the top 10 in all 5 of those playoff categories. So Corey Perry's joining a lofty status player there, because Glenn Anderson, when the Edmonton Oilers put Wayne Gretzky with Yari Curry and Glenn Anderson, that line was unstoppable. Some of the highest scoring games in Oilers history. But of course, it was often Messier and Anderson playing.
It's kind of like McDavid, Draisaitl, and Perry, is it not?
Well, yeah.
I know it's a different era,
I mean,
but same makeup almost.
Yeah, except that Anderson, Gretzky, and Curry were all in their 20s at the time. They were not 39 years of age.
Exactly.
You will find out one day. You're what, 6 or 7 years away from being 39?
7.
7 years away. Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's all downhill after about 34. So just know that that's what happens.
Well, I'm glad I got some time, and the Oilers certainly have
there
some
we
time
go.
as we
100%.
await game number 4 here tonight, here tomorrow, I should say, at Rogers Place. And as for Corey Perry, he's got points in 3 straight games, while the Oilers are looking for victory number 3 in this second round series come Monday.